Bandwidth Boys Podcast.
Seems it never rains in Southern California. Seems I've often heard that kind of talk before.
We talk about stuff, tech stuff.
All right. I'm surprised you even knew that song. I can't wait to find out where you know about that song. But welcome to another episode of Bandwidth Boys Podcast. I am Greg.
I'm Matt, and I didn't know that song.
And I am Connolly, and the only reason I know that song is because it's sung by the one and only Barry Manilow. And it's pouring cats and dogs out there, so.
It sure is. I couldn't have told you who did it, I'm surprised to say, but...
Well, he covered it, so I don't really know who did it originally, but that was the rendition of it.
Yeah. I remember that song from a long time ago. All right, folks, let's hop into it. What's going on, Tech World?
What's going on in tech world?
Well, here's what's going on in Tech World. Netflix continues to increase its dominance in the online streaming world. Today, Netflix announced that it has surpassed 75 million subscribers thanks to its international efforts. Numbers out today show Netflix stock prices are up 121% from last year, and Netflix attributes that rise to original programming. This quarter alone, Netflix is set to release 30 original programs, catapulting off last year's success with Making Murder. Netflix's chief content officer, Ted Sarandos, says, "We're releasing more shows in the next quarter than many networks will in a whole year. Netflix projects will sign up more than 6 million new subscribers this quarter."
Never run out of anything ever again. That's at least what Amazon wants. This is a very cool story. Nearly
You're
one
welcome.
year ago, Amazon released brand-specific Dash buttons and the Dash replenishment service. The idea was to automatically ship brand-specific orders to your home by the push of a button, or have your appliance order replacement soap, ink, etc. without you doing anything. Well, today Amazon flipped the switch on its Amazon Dash replenishment service. Amazon has partnered with several companies, Brother Printers, GE, G-Mate, which makes smart blood glucose monitors. GE washing machines with this service is active beginning today, and 45 different connected Brother printers will be issued a software update that allows users to go to the Brothers website, link their printed accounts with Amazon service, and let Brother and Amazon reorder ink and toner for them. That was a terribly read story.
The Twitter world came to a grinding halt this week. Tuesday, some users, about 300 million users to be exact, experienced offline messages. Lucky Twitter communicated about that outage via Twitter and a tweet saying some users are currently experiencing problems accessing Twitter, close quote. Oh, we are aware of this issue and are working towards a resolution, now close quote. Users upset with the outage headed to Facebook to complain. There was also issues with Twitter's API, which allows websites to talk with Twitter, and which caused it to be a bigger deal than it really was.
Well, Minecraft could be hitting classrooms soon to teach our young ones STEM topics, history, math, and art as well. Microsoft bought Minecraft in 2014 for $2.5 billion. Now it's ready to expand by developing Minecraft EDU. The game allows teachers to use Minecraft in the classroom and includes a library of lessons and activities used to teach various subjects. Minecraft EDU is designed specifically for teachers in mind, and with them in mind, rather. The company said that by having students create virtual worlds in Minecraft, they can learn a range of skills like digital citizenship, empathy, social skills, can even improve their literacy, while also getting real-time feedback from their teacher.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, the number one worst password of 2015.
And all the years prior, I think, right?
That's right. Or not, people are still using terrible passwords. Splashdata released its yearly list of terrible passwords. If you're looking to get hacked, you can try and use some of these passwords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is up 17 spots from last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, you got to have more characters nowadays.
And QWERT round out the top 5. Some honorable mentions include baseball, dragon, football, master, and Superman.
All in lowercase, I say. And that's a wrap on what's going on, Tech World. I thought that was a funny story.
That is a funny story.
I can't believe people still use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, you got to keep adding numbers because they're, they're requiring more characters to fill out these passwords. But goodness sakes, come on.
And then you got to add the A when you need the character.
Right.
And then you add the exclamation mark when you need a symbol.
Got to do what you got to do.
I can't understand how people are using those in most instances where it involves certainly any transaction or a bank or anything like that. You have to have all kinds of caps and numbers and lowercase, and you can't do that.
That's why I use LastPass, and Matt mocks me. But Matt, I don't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't mock LastPass.
Yes,
I just
you do.
mock the way
Yes,
you
you do.
use it.
The feature is in LastPass to generate passwords.
Yeah, but I don't see a purpose
Why do you
in
mock that?
Because I've seen you sit at your computer, need to log into something, and say, "Oh crap, where's my phone?
Where's my phone?
I don't know remotely where to
What
even
my
begin
password
with my
is.
password."
That's what I'm saying. Oh wow.
I've seen that.
Haters gonna hate. That's all I'm gonna say. Haters gonna hate.
I use LastPass, but I still have an
Anyway, so
idea
let's
of-
dive into the big talk this week.
Let's do it.
So we got 3 topics to dive into, and so we'll see how much we get through. But first off, I'll let Matt kind of lead off this first talk.
New Year's resolutions. I don't know why we didn't do this last show because that would have been more of a new year. But I think Greg and I were one day at work, and we noticed on our station that we had a program about saving money. Do you remember that, Greg?
I
And
do.
Websites. And I, for one, was very, very interested in the variety of what was out there. And through conversation with Connolly today, I guess he thinks all of these are very stupid.
I don't think they're stupid. I just wouldn't give up my banking information to these random websites. Okay, I hate autoplay videos. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm trying to load a story on my computer, and the stupid autoplay just goes. All right, sorry. Back to the topic.
So one of them that we saw on the show is called Stick.
Yeah, stick.
Stick. There's 2 Ks.
Is it shtick or stick?
It's like stick. Stick. I think it's stick. I'll go
All
with
right.
stick.
Stick.
Anyway, the idea is that you set up a goal. You set up stakes, so what the penalty will be if you don't meet your goal. You sign up a referee who's responsible for signing off weekly or whatever at whatever interval that you're meeting your goal. And the idea is that if you don't meet your weekly goals, Stick will donate money either to a charity, a charity in general. They don't tell you what the charity is if it's a good charity because they don't want it to become too much of an incentive. Or they donate it to an anti-charity, which the idea is that you do get to pick your charity, and it's a charity that's probably the exact opposite of what you think and your viewpoints. And I just thought that was really interesting. That initially I just thought it was for saving money, but their suggestions are: I commit to lose weight,
Yeah.
to exercise regularly, to quit smoking, or you can set a custom goal. I just thought that was really. I've never seen the anti. What's that? Anti-encouragement or anti-charity. I've never
It's
seen
really-
that before.
Yeah, it's essentially punishment.
Yeah.
Public shaming. Because I think you have to, put it on your Facebook and Twitter that says, I didn't meet my goal, I'm donating to blah. And so, all your friends who believe that you don't believe in this charity that it's going to will kind of razz you, and I think that's the idea behind it. And I saw this story, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the whole anti-charity thing was a good idea for those who really needed the extra motivation. I'm not sure I'd going back to your money app thing. The reason I don't like those is because you literally have to hand over your bank account number, your credit card numbers, and all your personal data minus the social security number to have this thing create a bunch of goals for you. And in this world where everything is being hacked, the one thing I don't want to worry about is where my money is and who has that information, and so I keep it in the bank, and if that's hacked, well, there's some safeguards against it, and so trying to figure out which site got hacked and what I have to do to get my money back is what kind of prevents me from using money services. But this doesn't seem to be like that.
Yeah, I think I kind of got a little bit off topic with that, but I use Mint. Well, I kind of use Mint. I used to use Mint more than I do now.
Well, let's just say when you're a millionaire like me,
there's a few things about Mint I don't like. Like I don't like that it's a 30-day cycle and I can't set it up to be a monthly cycle, because I think there's a lot of times where the past 30 days aren't necessarily what I want to be looking at.
Mm-hmm. You can't set custom 30 ranges?
I don't think so, no. Because everything I see, it's just past 30 days, and so it kind of sometimes doesn't work well for me. And then I start to ignore what it's telling me, and then which defeats the whole purpose of it. Yeah, that's just me though. Greg, do you use any budgeting apps or budgeting software?
We don't use anything currently that would move money as per our behavior. I mean, we've just got several places where we need to put it, mostly in the place that pays the bills.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there isn't a ton out there, but obviously we're shuttling money to kids in college and that kind of stuff as well. So we just handle it all pretty much ourselves in the old school fashion, I guess. Probably be a good idea though.
I am a fan of spreadsheets. I've always been a fan of spreadsheets,
Not me.
And I think that's one of the best things ever.
Yeah, they tell you a lot that you need to know, whether you like it or not.
But you have to like actively enter the data. I mean, that's the hard part about spreadsheets is you have to be actively inputting those numbers and inputting it correctly. So
I think that exercise can be sort of interchangeable with the Stick app, because by actively putting those numbers in and knowing where things are going, you're kind of doing the punishment and reward thing yourself if you're being honest about where you're putting all that stuff and knowledge of where it's going. At least that would be sort of something I would say. I think that app kind of takes the place of that, since you can do it all in an automated fashion now, but you kind of lose touch with your reality, I guess.
right. I just make sure my account doesn't go into the red and I'm good.
I'm just trying to keep things floating.
That's all I'm saying. All right. Anything else on your money saving apps?
It's not an app.
Oh.
It's just a thought I had.
All right. Well,
I don't know. I will say one more thing about it, and that when we were watching that, I thought it was really interesting that there are enough people who are interested in putting in some sort of form of mild or even harsh punishment for themselves, and that's what motivates them to do it. It's not strange. I just think it's really it's an interesting move, and I bet it's fairly effective for somebody who, like you say, Connolly, is willing to kind of hand over everything and feels okay about that.
right.
But anyhow,
Does it say the success rate of these people who set goals on their website? I mean, I'm sure you can't trust them to give you accurate figures, but
I don't know if I got that far.
I remember them. They addressed it, but I don't know that I remember them saying that there was a percentage in it or anything like
I
that.
said, I'm sure it's fairly effective. I mean, you're giving to this thing that you don't really want to give to. Like, I'm sure the NRA is probably really high on that list of things that people don't want to give to, and I'm sure that's a high charity on that website. So it would motivate a lot of people. So
Yeah, they said politically motivated things tend to be at least one of the chief places that you would give. If you were doing the punishment thing, I bet most people don't do the harsh thing. They do the charity where they just lose the money and it goes someplace good.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this list of the anti-charities that they give money to, some of them are kind of odd. Like the Nature Conservancy. People don't like nature. Is that not what I'm thinking that is?
No, I think what you've run into is you've run into a lot of political talk there. You've got, oh well, that's supported by this, which is supported by that, and I can't have anything to do with that because I'm into open carry or well, whatever. It's just
There's a reason for why everyone hates everything.
sure we're a very divisive
We're a
people.
very hateful society. So
There's a League Against Cruel Sports. And the last four on the list are the Arsenal fan club, the Chelsea fan club, the Liverpool fan club, and the Man U fan club.
go football. Football.
All right.
That's interesting.
Well, very.
All right, so
it's all very UK.
yeah, if you need something to publicly shame yourself, stick.com.
Or just give us some money. And we'll
Or give us
publicly
some money,
shame you.
yeah. Bandwidthboys.com. We'll be happy to shame you.
We have
publicly.
PayPal.
All right, so let's get into a second talk. Matt and I kind of started talking about this, but it was wasted content, so I said stop talking. We were texting on Sunday. Was it Sunday night?
Sunday night.
Sunday night. Matt was experiencing the Democratic debate on YouTube, and I was experiencing the Democratic debate on TV, like an old person, I guess. And so it kind of led to a discussion of why do we think that TV and that way of broadcast is dying. The reason I bring that up is because CNN released numbers of how many people watched the debate online and on YouTube. Greg, you want to take a guess of what the numbers were?
Percentage-wise, out of 100, I guess.
I'd just say out of millions. How many millions of people watched it on TV?
The whole, just either way.
Yeah.
Just all together.
TV itself, and then we'll go into the web. But TV itself. On NBC.
NBC. Gosh, could you give me a range?
It's above 10
I know I
million.
sound like an idiot, but I'm afraid that's not I just can't see those. I can't see the table.
When CBS had it, they had 8.5 million viewers.
Okay.
And when ABC had it around Christmas, they had 7.8 million. And this one was higher.
All right. For the sake of it, and I know you already spilled some of it, so I'll just I'll say the number that I was really probably thinking anyway, and it was more about 9 million.
It's about 10.2 million people watched it on broadcast TV, NBC. Okay? We got that number. You got that number in your head, Matt?
Yep.
What was
That's
it?
a pile of people.
It's a pile of people, right? So then we scroll down to how many people streamed it on YouTube.
Okay.
So they streamed it simultaneously to the broadcast.
Real time. Yeah.
So they're able to get better numbers than we are in broadcast. So I think the 10.2 is a little inflated, and I'm not sure how that's how long they stay, et cetera, et cetera. But anyways,
They don't know.
YouTube, they don't know. YouTube was able to get numbers, and how many people do you think watched that stream simultaneously on YouTube.com? Now, this is YouTube. I mean, pretty well-known website.
All right.
It was
Wait,
brand-
Matt, are you answering this one or am I answering this
Oh,
one?
I already know the answer because I was watching.
Oh, all right. Well, fair enough. I'll say 4 million.
Okay.
Oh, well, no, don't say that.
A whopping 350,000 viewers. So I know that debates aren't the most exciting thing to watch, but it's a pretty interesting measurement as to where we are in the sense of watching TV and what age group is watching what. So when
For sure.
you read a bunch of articles that say broadcast is dying, well, you have to look at the numbers, and to me, the numbers don't say that broadcast is dying.
No, they don't yet say that.
Well, I would argue that you're basing your argument that broadcast isn't dying off of a comparison of broadcast to streaming, right? But you're not. You have to factor in all the people who didn't watch broadcast at all and only read about it, right? Or never even
No.
bothered to turn the TV on.
Why do I have to compare those people into this discussion?
Because you're saying the broadcast is dying.
Oh, I'm not saying broadcast is dying.
Yeah. Oh,
Many people think
Yeah,
broadcast
so you're
is
saying
dying. I don't think broadcast is
so
dying.
you're saying broadcast is fine because when you compare it to streaming, there's still more, but that doesn't mean that that number has dropped. you see what I'm saying?
I see what you mean. I just don't think putting all the apples and oranges into the digital streaming bucket as we are now is the right answer.
Well, 5 years ago, what do you think that streaming number would have been?
2.
Exactly. So, well, maybe not 2. But it has grown.
Metaphorically, too.
Right. Metaphor.
It has grown exponentially.
Yes, it has.
Is broadcasting growing exponentially? Or is it going the other way?
No, it's going the other way.
I think that's the argument right there. Yeah, if you compare, not as many people watch it on YouTube as on broadcast, but that doesn't mean that broadcast isn't dying.
I don't think it's dying. You tune into the Super Bowl. How are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
That's
If it was
different.
available, no. How is that different? That's not different.
If it's available on to
If
stream?
it's available on streaming, I guarantee more people will be watching it on broadcast than they will streamed on any device.
And I'm not.
And you put them all together. You put the Apple TV up there. You put the Chromecast up there. You put your smartphone up there. The NFL app? I don't care.
And I'm not saying.
Broadcast is going to win every time.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Oh, good.
But
Well, then
that-
we'll move on. All right. So the next,
That doesn't prove the argument that broadcast isn't dying.
I think it does.
Greg?
I think the present active tense is the problem here. Dying. I think the question really is it dead or is it not dead? And I think it's such a slow process to change over to a distribution system that it's going to be a long time before, I mean, with the amount of money that's invested in it, and there are so many people who are watching who still have television, even a fellow like myself who's literally watching it over an antenna like we did in the 70s. There's just so much of that still out there. And it's going to take a long time for it to turn all the way over. I also think there's another little caveat in that, too, and I think, and Connolly mentioned it a bit. I've never been able, and Matt and I were talking about this last week, too. I'm not sure I understand or believe for sure television ratings or radio ratings, for that matter, the way that they've done it over the years. I think it is a bunch of hogwash, and I think the numbers are highly inflated generally. They're trying to, because it's what they use for national sales, and I just think it's crazy. It's crazy talk, the numbers that they throw out there, and I don't see how they come about those numbers. So I like the 350,000 number is starting to make some serious sense to me out there. I mean that makes sense.
That's real tangible numbers. And even if you
Yeah.
cut the other number in half, it's still a lot of people. But to me, I don't think broadcast is going to go away. I think they're going to change how they're going to deliver it to your house. There's no doubt about that. But I think time and time again, linear TV will win out over digital distribution.
It will for another half a generation probably, and then you're going to have a group of people who have never really spent much time watching linear television, and that's when it'll really start to probably, again, exponentially pick up pace when we finally get rid of old guys like me.
And me. I mean, you got to wait a long time to get rid of me, but
Yeah, that's what I say. It's going to take a long time.
Well, what do you classify as broadcast?
anything you can get over the air
So
through a cable box.
So in the instance of this debate, you wouldn't classify YouTube as a broadcaster.
No.
In that they were, even though they were broadcasting.
I don't consider that broadcasting.
Okay.
So it requires a transmitter and use of.
I think we've had this discussion before about how you classify broadcaster. Netflix believes they're the biggest broadcaster in the world. I don't think they're a broadcaster. I think they're a fine content provider. When
cable makes a transition to video over IP.
Yep.
How is that going
I'll
to
be on there.
How is that going to be any different than pulling a stream off of YouTube?
No, then we'll all be playing in the same boat. We'll all be paying the same amount of money for the same equipment, and so we can consider ourselves a broadcaster. But until we're playing on the same field, I wouldn't consider us broadcasters.
But then is terrestrial broadcast dead, or has broadcast just changed what broadcast is?
No, it hasn't changed, or it's not dead. We're just changing how we're getting it to your home. We've changed how we've gotten TV to your home many times. We've gone from SD, analog, to DTV digital. Right? We've gone from SD to HD, and we're going to make the jump to 4K soon.
Yeah. But video.
That's not dying,
But vi-
terrestrial. That's just changing how we get it to your house.
But you
I think the biggest change in that it was the introduction of cable, because it actually speaks to a different way of getting programming, and programming that you cannot get over the air. So it actually is a different service, but it became ubiquitous enough in the world, but we're just talking about the United States for the most part here, that it was just considered broadcast, I think. And that might touch a little bit on what Matt's saying. I think it starts to merge into itself when it becomes something that's accepted in society. And streaming's on its way, but it's not there yet.
Connolly, I remember you saying
Please remind me.
broadcast is
Remind me.
what you get over the air.
Over the air and cable box. That's what I said.
So video over IP
Through a cable box.
will not come over the air.
Why? How do you know?
What?
How do you know?
It's fundamentally different than what it is now.
What do you mean?
Then you're talking about a Wi-Fi network. So then by that argument, right? If I were to watch NBC on my phone,
NBC on your phone.
and in that case, NBC is a broadcaster,
NBC is a broadcaster.
even though they're streaming their signal to me on my phone.
Yes.
So why is it any different if YouTube streams it to me on my phone? It's the same delivery system. It's the same delivery network. It's the same form. Why is it suddenly one person gets the title of broadcaster?
Because we're
and one
all
doesn't?
playing on the same field at that point. At that point, when we finally make it to an IP delivery system, everyone is on the same playing field, and everyone is regulated the same way.
So you're saying
Okay.
broadcast is not dying because it would be unfair, because currently it's unfair for broadcast.
It is.
Okay.
It is unfair for broadcasters to be living in the world we're living in right now.
That doesn't mean it's not dying.
But it's not dying.
It is.
I don't see how you can say that broadcast is dying. People are going to turn on the news
Our
when something big happens.
Are
They're not going to
subscriptions
go to their
going up or down?
smartphone. It doesn't matter if subscriptions are going. You can't
What do you
count
mean
that.
it doesn't matter?
People are watching more over the air than they ever have ever. You don't count that. You only count Time Warner subscriptions and Comcast subscriptions, tangible numbers like that.
Why do you think more people are watching over the air?
Because
I mean, a part of the reason that more people are watching is because there are just flat out more people. But it obviously has been a choice that people have made instead of cable. Is it just the high cost?
Right. I think the high cost and just bad customer service in general, they're saying, screw it. I'm going to go buy a $12 antenna, put it up behind my TV, and I can get the basic cables I want, and then I can buy some, subscribe to other subscription-based products like Netflix to fill my other stuff, but I still need that live content, that linear TV.
I think that story that we did earlier in the news about Netflix and the fact that they're putting out 30 shows where that's, networks might be putting out 4 or 5 kind of thing says a lot. And it's about how much the networks at this point, who are still producing a terrestrial signal, and it costs a lot of money to produce that and to disseminate that they are, as you say, a little bit behind the 8 ball, because it costs a heck of a lot of money to do that, and then you also have to produce that streamable product at the same time, whereas somewhere like Netflix just hangs out and just does content, and they don't have to deal with distribution. And so I agree with you, Connolly, that it's not a level playing field. However, I can't get on the boat that says that broadcast in the way that we describe it right now isn't dying. It is going to go away. It's just not. It's just going to take a while.
I don't think it'll go away.
You don't? You think we're going to? I think we're going to split that bandwidth up, just like we're doing with a lot of the available bandwidth that we're already redistributing right now. I think it's going to finally get to that spot where we use it for other stuff, and it'll probably be a way to get, who knows, wireless to places that are having a tough time. Yeah.
Broadcast over Wi-Fi.
So what, Connolly?
Matt.
This is my final question for you.
Final question.
All right.
So is the next step so think of the big cable stations, right?
Giant cable stations.
Your ESPNs, your
ESPN.
your Food Network.
Food Network.
These cable stations.
Yes.
What's the next step for them?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Would you think maybe they might stream their programming?
Well, they stream already.
Do you think that might be when cable dies? Because I think we can all agree that cable in the way
Cable
today
itself
dying.
is going to die and go off merrily in its own little way.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. And, probably when that happens, it's not a if, it's a when, I think these cable stations will definitely find a way to monetize somehow and maybe team up with a Hulu or something like that to do.
Over IP.
Yeah.
Will they be a broadcaster?
Have we got to the same playing field yet?
So that's what this is all about, is a playing field.
Yeah.
You have to earn the title of broadcaster.
Right.
Okay.
You gotta be
Those cable television shows, the foods and the HGTVs and that sort of thing, they're already monetized.
right.
I've watched a share of that stuff just on cable's available, online service, and it is more spots than I'm used to in a regular television network broadcast.
There's a lot.
It is a tremendous number of spot breaks and promos every single time and over and over and over. So they've already got the sucker monetized. What they have is they have a lingering contract with the cable company.
Right.
And you're starting to see HBO was the first one to kind of step off the cable track a little bit and make themselves available on their own, and you're going to see a lot more of that. But these are just contracts that are running out. Is what's happening now. It seems to me anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think once they figure out a more reliable way to get internet to your home and making it consistent, just like a cable box is pretty consistent. Once they figure that out, then we can have the discussion again of who is a broadcaster and who's not. But until they figure that out, broadcast and OTA will be my number one choice.
Yeah, yeah. Over the air is really the answer to what that is now. The problem is that broadcast is becoming a difficult thing to put a name on and have it be technically correct.
Right. All right. That was a fun big talk. Let's move on.
What's on Matt's mind?
You need a red carpet again like a couple weeks ago? What's going on?
No. What I was going to talk about. Oh, I remember. I was going to mix it up and make it a little bit more lighthearted, because I could talk about Verizon and AT&T, who are currently trying to screw up net neutrality on their own. AT&T's already doing it. Verizon is now lets companies pay them, and Verizon will waive the data that they send on to their users.
Well, it's a good thing you're not talking about
It's
it.
a good thing I'm not talking about it. This is just something I thought was cool, and I think is the future. Well, I know is the future. It's called Link NYC. The idea behind Link NYC is reutilizing all the payphone tower
Phone
things.
booths. They're phone
Are they
booths.
phone booths?
Sure.
All the
Greg, what do you call them back in the 1980s? Phone booth?
A phone booth, yeah. You
phone
mean
booth.
the actual place that you went in and like deposited a quarter and made a
Right.
phone call? Okay,
And the operator came on 10 minutes later saying, please deposit more.
sure.
Yeah, I've never used one of those. Okay, whatever.
I can see why. Yeah, it's hard to find them.
Anyway, in New York City,
They're all in New York.
a group, I think they're just called Link NYC, they are repurposing these, and they're turning them into Wi-Fi hotspots for the streets. And not just any Wi-Fi
The
hotspots.
streets.
These Wi-Fi hotspots are plugged directly into fiber.
Oh,
So some people ran some speed tests, and they were seeing 280 megs down
Holy cow.
and 317 up.
I get 30 megs down.
This is over Wi-Fi.
more up than down, which is interesting.
Over Wi-Fi, and it's completely free.
Hey,
It's just a free Wi-Fi hotspot on the street.
they do that in other countries for all of the spots.
Yeah. Well,
not just a few in New York and some
one
phone
step at
booths,
a
but
time.
I know, one step at a time.
And yeah, I mean, I just thought this was a really cool idea. A, that they're repurposing these phone booths, and B, that they found a model. Now, whether or not this model is sustainable, I don't really know. Currently, the only way that, well, I'll tell you exactly what's on them. They're tall and thin. They feature fiber connections. They give you 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, USB charging, free voice calls, and a tablet for internet access, maps, and directions. And they also have 2 displays which show ads, which is how they make money. I don't know if that's sustainable. And public service announcements. And I just thought this was a really cool idea that, you walk around town, not only do you have free Wi-Fi when you're on the street, but you have outstanding free Wi-Fi. And it's free.
That was my contribution to this discussion.
It's free. And
That's awesome.
Well timed.
And Time Warner can't even give me the speeds I pay for, and I'm hardwired. It's ridiculous.
I pay for 50 and I get 30. So, all right, that's a Matt's Mind.
On Matt's Mind.
That's cool. You think they'd come to Pullman Net? We don't have any booths.
I'm sure we could donate some phone booths.
I'd be happy to.
They're going to become extremely expensive if that's what we're going to use them for. I guess I have one question as a lingering question about that.
Mm-hmm.
The phone booth, it's just acting as the Wi-Fi provider?
Yes.
I think it's probably because it's got all the power in it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it just sort of looks cool instead of just some pole with a bunch of stuff on it, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it basically just looks like the big signs that you see in like a mall.
Yeah.
I think it's more they use the space of it and then all the existing connections to get what they needed.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't look like a phone booth at all, but it's
Well, that's not cool at all then.
it's the location.
I get it. Yeah. All right. I was just curious how phone boothy it looked.
Phone boothy.
Mm-hmm.
No, fellas, baby got back.
All right. Crowd funding time.
All right.
This is-
I'm excited about this week.
This is not the one I wanted.
What? What?
This isn't the Kickstarter I wanted.
Oh, it's not?
What happened to the ki-
Oh.
what happened to the good Kickstarter you sent me last week?
Oh man. So it was supposed to be a joke. Last week there was the gigantic $1.5 billion Powerball. And so this woman who, I guess, put all her eggs in one basket did not win the Powerball, which is very shocking to me. She did not win the Powerball, so she wanted a Kickstarter to start a campaign saying that her family lost everything, they don't have any money to eat, they don't have any money to really do anything but live on the streets. And so she started a campaign, it got up to $800, and then Kickstarter kicked it off. So we were going to do that one, but I figured let's not waste our time.
It's probably a good thing she didn't win the lottery.
Oh my gosh.
I can only imagine what would happen to all that money so quickly.
Yeah. So you're going to play this one, right? So I'll explain it, and I'm really excited. I think we're all going to back it, but I don't know what you guys two think of. So I don't know how many times your wife or yourself has been wanting to watch TV, and the other one didn't really want to listen to what you were wanting to watch.
Is that broadcast or is it streaming or what kind of TV
Broadcast.
is that?
This is only broadcast.
Sorry,
Any
I
other
couldn't help
streaming doesn't
myself.
So where was I going? See, you threw me off.
I know. I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Really.
So, like, let's say your wife wanted to read a book, but she wanted to be in the same room with you while you're watching a show. She didn't want to hear it, but she wanted to hang out with you. And so, really, the only way to kind of do that now is through wireless headphones, right? Or you buy a Roku that's got a built-in headphone jack, so you can use your own jack or whatnot, right? So this Kickstarter was developed to kind of solve that problem of you not having to buy a really expensive wireless headphone system. You can use simply the headphones that you own from Apple, or your nice Bose ones, or anything like that. So take a listen to this Kickstarter. It's entitled Blipcast. Blipcast.
Maybe.
Once Matt gets his stuff together, it's called Blipcast.
And play.
Hey Kickstarter, I'm Brandon Goodwin, and I think life should have fewer distractions and less noise. And that's why we created Blipcast. Blipcast sends sound from your TV to your smartphone, so you can use any set of headphones you already own to watch television or play video games without disturbing others. Just plug Blipcast into your TV's audio output and listen in real time on the Blipcast app. This way you can watch TV without bothering your partner or your roommates, and parents can watch without waking up their kids or exposing them to explicit content. And the only solution up until now is wireless headphones. The problem with that is I don't want another set of headphones. I already own so many sets of headphones. I have too many as it is. Blipcast eliminates the need for bulky, expensive wireless headsets that need to be recharged and that only one person can listen to at a time. Because a single Blipcast will send sound to multiple iOS or Android devices at once. You can even have multiple Blipcasts connected in different rooms of your house and easily switch between them in the Blipcast app. Our small but dedicated team has been working on this project for around 9 months.
All right, so there you go. It's called the Blipcast. So essentially, it's a dongle that you plug into the back of your TV through the headphone jack. So your TV has to come equipped with a headphone jack, which I assume most do nowadays. And I'm sure that'll change as it develops. But that would be a hindrance if you don't have the headphone jack. And then via this dongle, it'll send that audio to your smartphone, and then you'll use your headphones to plug into the smartphone headphone jack to listen to the audio on the TV. What do you think? We'll get into pricing and whatnot, but first thoughts.
Greg, you can
I
go.
thought it was genius.
All right. I have a couple questions about it.
I'll be happy to answer it. I've read all about it
That's
too.
nice. That's nice. So, real quick on the headphone jack out part.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you could probably take an RCA 2 mini and just play the game of getting the right the right style of plug. It doesn't have to be a pre-existing headphone jack out of it.
Right. You could use whatever converter you have to get it to.
Okay. All right. All right. And I assumed as much, but it's good to just sort of get it out there. I can see one problem with audio already, and that is that I have at least 2 different places that I'm sending audio, so you are going to have to at least take some time. It might be a little bit cumbersome to get into settings sometimes and make sure that certain places where audio is being sent, whether it's an optical send or part of an HDMI send or something like that, if you've got a Sonos like you do, or any kind of a system that's set up for 5.1 or just stereo out that's outside of the regular outs of your television. It's just one of those things you are going to have to pay attention to. It's another, oh no, we can't watch it that way. I've got to get into the settings and click around and make sure that thing works. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be as quite as simple as it sounds on the Blipcast advertisement.
Right.
But I mean, what advertisement's going to come on and tell you that it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass? I don't think that's going to happen.
Don't buy it.
No, and I don't know that it's not insurmountable. I just think it's something that you have to think about. I'm not necessarily looking at it as a deal killer. I just think it's part of the deal, and everybody's setup's going to be a little bit different with the different audio outs that you have and where they might be going.
Yeah, and some people don't even have stereo systems like we do, and so it won't even be a thought for them.
True, and in fact, probably most people don't.
I mean, we do because we're audio nerds, and we like to have good audio.
And I got a great deal on the system I got, so I've had it for years, so whatever. But
there you go.
You're right, yes.
All right, here comes Debbie Downer, also known as Matt.
I can't think of a way I could use this.
What do you mean?
Because the only way I could do it is if I took a headphone out of my receiver.
Great.
And when I plug headphones into my receiver, it disables my speaker output.
You can't use it like an RCA out of there, an digital optical out of there, nothing?
No.
You need it in your system. That's what you need. That's another conversation.
You're talking about you're not talking about your TV. You're talking about your secondary audio system, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Why would you pull it out of your secondary audio system?
Because there's no audio in my TV. Everything goes to my receiver, and then I only send one signal from my receiver to my TV.
Hmm.
So if I plug it into my TV, I won't get any audio.
Well,
That's going to be more of a problem, particularly with people who use a set-top, like a Roku or an Apple TV or something like that, too, because a lot of people put all of their original audio stuff into that, and then start branching out to the receivers and things like you're talking about. And maybe I'm describing something similar to your system, but
Yeah, I mean, I just have.
I
all
think
of-
you just need a new system.
I just have. Well, isn't that exactly what a receiver is designed for? You send all
Not
your
a shitty one
sources-
like that.
How you send all your sources into the receiver.
You should at least have a pass-through
I really don't think. I mean, I might,
because you got a shitty system.
and I'm
That's all
just
I'm saying.
completely overlooking it.
You
But
probably are.
I can't think of it.
You're overthinking this
I can't think of any situation where you would need a passer out of a receiver.
for this exact reason.
For I think it's a very specific situation that no one thought of when
For
they
the
were making it.
Blipcast. That's why you need it.
yeah, mine would work because it's just kind of a common. I'm just choosing between, hey, do we want to listen to it through the regular TV or do we want to send it to the 5.1 thing?
And mine would work too.
Yeah, mine would work, but I know that I'd have to think about it.
Matt's just not thinking about it. That's the problem.
I'm obviously not putting enough thought into this.
That's what it is. I mean, for me, this just like screamed, this is a solution. Because sometimes Megan wants to read a book, but we don't agree on the same show, but we want to hang out together, and so the Blipcast would allow me to listen to it using my beautiful noise-canceling headphones that she bought, and still watch the program while we're in the same room. And so it was genius. Because why buy an extra wireless headphone just to use for the TV?
I agree with that sentiment.
Do you have a Roku that you can listen through the remote?
Only upstairs,
Do you ever use that?
once in a while.
Oh, okay. I think I used it when I got it, and then I never. I'm just being a Debbie Downer. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Is this a Bluetooth setup or what is it?
no, it's
That's through your
yeah, it
Wi-Fi.
looks like straight Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi. Okay.
So if your Wi-Fi sucks, you get a whole bunch of delay.
Right. Which is a downside.
So for a
New
college,
ways to achieve delay.
Right. Add the latency. All right.
The digital audio
Well, you
nightmare.
Debbie Downers, I think I know what your answer is, but I have to ask anyway. $75 will get you the first edition, a Kickstarter exclusive Blipcast. $20 off the expected retail price. You're placing group 1 and will receive this reward before anyone in later groups. So you're in the first group to get a Blipcast at $79. So you compare that to a wireless headphone. Could it be worth it? I don't know. So I'll start with Greg because he's a usually happy guy.
See how happy? See?
For $79, are you going to back the Blipcast or not?
I think it's cool. I'm backing.
All right, Matt Kawamura, $79 gets you an early bird special.
He's laboring over this.
it is a cool idea,
Blipcast, $79.
and in the right situation, I think it
Not
would
for
be
Matt's
very cool.
house.
It's not me,
Nothing is for you.
but I think I would still back it because it's cool.
And I think you all know what mine is going to be. I will back this. So, wrap it up, Greg.
How about that? You want me to wrap it up? I thought you had a song to wrap this thing up.
Oh, fellas, baby got back.
3-0. We backed it.
I know.
Back something.
We backed something. I know. I thought we just need to get right into the tune because we so rarely back anything,
Man.
or at least it feels that way. I don't know what the numbers bear out. I don't have the analytics yet from the show. But
Yeah, Matt, where's our analytics from the show? All right. So there you go. The Blipcast on Kickstarter. It's let's check it out. At the time of the recording, it's got 12 days to go. It's at $31,000, so we'll see where it goes. Its goal is $100,000, so
They should make it with they should let it take HDMI and then pass it through and strip the audio out.
Mhm.
And then
2.0, baby.
that would work perfect for me.
See, there you go. We're helping them out.
Yeah.
We back it and we help them out.
And if you take that, you can mail us a check.
Bandwidthboys.com. We'll be happy to answer your question. All right.
We'll open an account because we don't have one.
Right. Just for you.
We will come visit you to pick up the check.
One of us. Not three. One.
Depends on the check.
And where you happen to be.
Right. All right. So We're pretty smart when it comes to technology for the most part, right?
Sometimes I think not, but sometimes I do.
So we're going to test our knowledge tonight
Groovy.
in a game I'd like to call Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
That's right. The woman is smart. That's right. The woman is smart. That's right. The woman is smart. That's right. That's right.
All right. I didn't want to use the theme song, so I found another song.
Smarter than a fifth grader?
Oh, I could just have you sing the theme song.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Do we get to use these again?
If you want to. I know I haven't. Megan asked if she should throw mine away. I said, no. We could use it again.
We'll bring it back next week.
We'll bring it back.
Oh yeah.
Matt will bring it back. So.
You don't have, just for the record, Connolly, you don't have to do this. It's designed so that you just flip it like this real quick. There's none of this.
It's more
none
exciting.
of this.
You kind of
None
flip
of
it
that.
back and forth.
He hasn't quite figured out how to use
Just-
it.
It makes for more drama, Matt or Greg.
All right, sorry.
I have to flip it. All right. So these are questions fifth graders could answer.
Really?
Really?
Have we? Okay.
They probably can. The little dirty
Technically,
dogs.
They're pretty simple questions. I did it. So we'll work together. Well, you
Okay.
two work together. There are 12 questions.
Woo!
So if you get, we're gonna speed through them. If you get
All right.
9, that'll make you smarter than a fifth grader.
Oh man.
Most fifth graders got all 12 right, but for
Wow.
you two, I'll give you
Cool.
9.
All right.
This
All
is
right.
all tech questions.
This is all computer tech related questions. Okay.
I'm gonna get 100%.
All right. You let Greg participate, huh? All right. So the first one gets you off easy. Control plus V gets you what?
How does this work?
On a
But
just say-
like
just
paste.
Oh, paste.
All right. You guys got one. See? We're off and running. Control plus A gets you
Select all.
Select all. Yeah.
not connected to the internet is what? That's what the question is.
What?
That's a very confusing question.
Well, yeah. It's either your wireless or your LAN or not.
Okay. What's the term for not being connected? How about that? That's better.
What's the term for
What's
not?
the term for not being connected to the internet?
Like what type of network is not connected to the internet?
No, don't think of it like that. Not being connected to the internet. What do you call that?
Offline?
Bang. I was gonna say like
Grader.
alone.
All right. See, you
All
can't overthink these, Matt. The bar at the top of the internet window where the URL appears is called a what?
I'm gonna give Greg a chance.
Greg.
I don't remember. I'm looking at it. I don't remember what it's called.
Like an address box?
That's no.
Address bar?
I'll give it to you. It was address bar. Address bar.
It's
All
called an address bar?
Called an address bar.
Web address bar.
I have never heard that term one time. I could figure that, okay, I probably won't remember what, 8 out of these 12 are, but at least when you say it, I would go, oh, of course, yeah. No, address bar does not fit into that category. Never heard that term ever. So anyway,
All right. Well,
obviously I'm pissed about it.
Greg doesn't agree with the game. Go back to the judges.
It's all right. No, I'm good. I'm good
You
playing.
guys are 4 for 4. You're good.
I'm angry that I don't have it.
Which of the following items would be most problematic if your computer turned off because of a power failure? A, the information on the network. B, the information in the RAM. C, software program in use. Or D, the monitor. Which of the following items would be most problematic if your computer turned off because of power failure? The information on the network, the information on the RAM, software program in use, or the monitor.
Do you want this
Uh,
one big or should I break this one down?
We don't need to break it to fifth
Well,
grade.
you can break it down. I guess I'd say software, but
So, information on the network. Are you talking like information that's in transit, or are you talking like information that's stored on a network?
I did not make this game up. It just says the information on the network.
Okay, well, I'm
Probably
inclined to say
information on the internet.
I'm inclined to say information on RAM because that's volatile.
That is
Nice.
correct.
Yeah.
Information in RAM.
Do you mean by process
that-
of elimination?
That was a
I
very-
don't know.
That was an unclear question.
That's the question it got. All right.
Well, it wasn't too unclear. You got it right.
Data on Matt's like sweating here.
I missed it. So
Data on a computer is measured in bits. Which answer correctly shows measurements from smallest to largest? Are we ready? Centimeter, millimeter, meter. The next one, byte, megabyte, gigabit, bit, gigabyte, bit.
or byte.
The next one, bit, byte, gigabyte. Or D, 1 digit, 2 digits, 3 digits, 4.
What?
What? What?
I don't know.
Is this a visual question?
No,
I-
that's what they called it. 1 digit, 2 digits, 3 digits, 4.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
I don't
Can we-
understand. What
Can
that
we
is.
eliminate the first one because we know it's wrong?
All right, you can
Just
eliminate
move on,
centimeter, millimeter, meter.
because
Boom.
millimeter would be first. All right.
I
What's your second one?
The smallest measurement to largest measurement when it comes to bits.
when it comes to bits.
Yes.
So is D not even an option because it's not related to bits?
If that's how you want to process it,
I
go.
think it's no more qualified than the first one with centimeters, and which also wasn't wrong anyway, because centimeters is larger than millimeters. But anyhow,
That leaves you two choices:
new choices. That's good.
byte, megabyte, gigabyte, bit, or bit, byte, gigabyte.
Wait, what was the first one?
Byte.
Megabyte, gigabyte, bit,
It's
or
not that
bit,
one.
byte, gigabyte.
That one.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that should not have taken that long.
The D really
Next.
threw me off.
I thought A was a little funky.
In a word processing program,
Sure.
let's call it Microsoft Word, shall we? In a word processing program, the line spacing for a document can be changed from what?
What?
Only fifth graders can answer these questions. In a word processing program, the line spacing for a document can be changed from.
We're talking about the whole range.
Are you talking like the setting? Like what?
The line
From the-
spacing of a document to go from single to double
Start
to
single, right? That's what I was saying. So you're saying what the whole range is? What's the top end of the range? So it starts at 1 and it goes to.
I don't know, where can you change that setting?
Like the menu? Like I don't understand.
There are
what-
two places you can change it.
Oh, there's a well.
Places you can change it.
It's in the format section of most things, but
paragraph.
All right, you guys are just.
What? Well, I don't understand the
The
question.
answer is the toolbar and the menu bar.
What a stupid
The
question.
toolbar and the menu bar.
sure, it
Alright.
wasn't the address bar, the infamous address bar.
All right. The case or outer shell of a computer is called what?
Tower.
What?
I love how Matt is so puzzled by these fifth grade questions.
The case or the,
The case or outer shell of the computer is called.
I've always called it the case, so I was kind of out already when he used it in the
the
description.
chassis?
It's called a computer console.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what the thing says.
Council or console? What was it?
Console.
Console.
An example of a LAN, local area network, is A, the WWW,
Nope.
B, AOL,
Nope.
C, a school network,
Mm,
or D, HTTP.
school network.
School network.
All
School
right.
network.
See, you're back on track. You got to get the rest to be smarter than a fifth grader.
We have to get the rest.
Yeah, there's
How-
12.
How many more?
You
are there?
missed 2.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, you can get one more wrong.
Someone can't do math like a fifth
A
grader.
URL or Uniform Resource Locator is what? Don't overthink this. A Uniform Resource Locator is what?
Web address in the address bar.
Website address. Look at that. What is part of a database that holds only one type of information? What is part of a database that holds only one type of information? That's a stupid question. I wish I could help you.
So
I got this one wrong on the quiz.
what is it? Wait, what?
What is part of a database that holds only one type of information? I just put an X on it because you're going to get it wrong. So.
I think most of the fifth graders missed this. Yeah.
Probably. It's more like a 7th grade question.
It wouldn't be a record
It would not be a record.
because a record has multiple categories.
Multiple categories. A field. It's called a field.
Oh.
There's no 5th grader in the world that would get that.
Oh, there's one out there. They're going to college already, but
Right.
they're out there.
What do we call a collection of 2 or more computers that are located within a limited distance of each other and that are connected to each other directly or indirectly?
Network. They're networked. They're not networked? They seem like they're networked to me. That's what I've always thought they were.
Ask it one more time now that we know Greg is wrong.
He's partially there.
Seems like a local network to me.
A local area network. That's what it's called. Boom.
So we're smarter than a 5th grader.
Well, you get one more question.
Oh.
.jpg extension refers usually to what kind of file?
JPEG?
And a photo.
An image file. Oh, man. So, you two are smarter
Collectively.
collectively than a 5th grader.
And just barely, mind you.
Woman is that's right. The woman is that's right. The woman is that's right. That's right.
You put 2 of your brains together.
And look at
Nice
what
work.
we can accomplish.
Look what you can accomplish.
Yeah. Are we going to hop right into the rants and raves? It seems
Do
like
it.
we should.
That's
Oh,
right.
wait, wrong button.
Okay, well, do the right one.
Rants and raves. Matt, you kick us off.
So you got,
Donald Trump.
Oh,
you're raving about Donald Trump?
Oh, I didn't say it was a rave. I just
well, we figure you usually rave in the week,
said it
so.
was about Donald Trump.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone heard. Donald Trump made this statement that if elected president, he would force Apple to start to produce and build their products in the United States.
And is that going to be shortly followed by all the toy companies, all of the car companies, all of the everything?
All of them.
So the idea is, and if you choose to not make it in the U.S., you would be charged a minimum 35% tax.
Wow.
So some people did the math on what would happen if Apple started to produce their products in the U.S., what that would do for costs. And at a minimum, it would at least double the cost. So an iPhone 6s that retails for $650 would start to retail for a minimum of $1,300. So just putting that out there, that is Trump's plan. Not to mention, though, that Apple has already invested over $100 million to manufacture the Mac Pro in the U.S., and it already gets parts from the U.S. It just assembles outside of the U.S. because they don't want to charge $1,300 for a phone.
And right, wrong, like it or lump it, it's the way that America now does business, which is part and parcel, in my opinion, why we don't really have much of a workforce.
Yeah. And
Blaming Apple seems odd, but, you know, go for it.
I mean, I can only imagine what happens to the economy when people can no longer afford a cell phone. Doesn't seem like that would be very productive.
I believe they'll be able to buy the Moto G now.
That's assuming Motorola isn't forced to start making their phones in the
Okay,
U.S.
then it'll be $400, so reasonable there.
What is it now retail?
$199.
It retails for $199.
Yeah, Moto G.
That phone's a piece of crap then.
$199.
Oh.
Greg, you got anything for us?
Yeah, sure.
Oh wow! What's the occasion?
I'm gonna
It's Tuesday.
I got to sleep in. I don't know, something.
1:45.
You had Monday to research.
That's right. Well, I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna rave, and I'm gonna rave about the X-Files. I think it's really
X-Files.
I'm grooving on the X-Files coming back. It's a 90s show. I kind of am a product, at least of my early adulthood of the 90s, and the X-Files was cool. It was, and the reason I'm raving is not just because just because I like it, but from a technical standpoint, they changed the way that stories were told on television, and there are a lot of television shows now, whether they're being broadcast or otherwise. Distinction not necessary in this case. Anyway, the way that writers write and the way that directors craft shows and develop characters and have much larger conceptual ideas as a part of their show rather than it just being episode to episode that aren't necessarily strung together. There are just a lot of things that were super innovative about that, and I've always had a bit of an attachment to it because I lived in Bellingham, Washington for a long time, and they shot some of that stuff there in and around the time that I lived there. So it's kind of like living in Forks when they were shooting all the vampire stuff, I suppose. At any rate, I'm raving about that because I think it's cool that they're coming back and sort of paying homage to something that was pretty innovative in its time.
So we didn't talk before the show, right? About our rants or raves, nothing like that.
Nope. You didn't even think I had one, because often I don't.
Yeah. So I am going to rave about Netflix.
What's wrong with that?
Continuing on with the 90s TV theme, I'm very excited that Netflix is bringing back Fuller House. I'm so excited to see what's going on with Kimmy Gibbler. I loved Kimmy Gibbler. But
I can't figure out for the life of me why that thing has the life of its own that it has. I mean, it's just amazing how that. But I mean, I'm sure I was attached to shows that were the same way. Happy Days, the Fonz, the whole thing, and whatever.
Yeah. So I am just excited for Fuller House to get going, and would like to thank Netflix for bringing it back. Bringing back the 90s to 2000. I just hope it's not like Girls Meets World and it's a total awful show.
Which girl meets world.
So there you go. That's my rave. Thank you to Netflix for bringing back the Gibster, the Gibbler.
Maybe Saved by the Bell is next.
Saved by the Bong would be the newer version.
Maybe.
Did you see Netflix is spending $6 billion this year on content?
Yes, I did.
$6 billion on content.
It's a lot. I don't think most of that's original content, though.
Yeah, but still.
But that's a lot of money. Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Netflix is rolling in the dough.
Don't have any of those pesky broadcast towers to maintain.
Okay, move on.
He said it, not me. Matt is so disgusted with us right now.
Because you're no sense.
All right, let's put a bow on it, shall we, Greg?
We've earned equal disdain from Matt tonight. That's a first. Yes. All right, we're closing the book on this one, just like we do every time of the Bandwidth Boys podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you missed it live, don't worry. You can download and listen to our podcast by using iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. That's kind of the way people do it a lot of times. If you subscribe, you'll also get some daily tech updates. Bandwidth Boys Quick Hits.
Bandwidth Boys Podcast. Facebook, Bandwidth Boys Podcast. Twitter, @GMK Podcast. Web, bandwidthboys.com. Bandwidth Boys Podcast.
All right, with that, I'm Greg.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Connolly.
Well, we'll talk to you next time. Same place, same time, same old shenanigans. It's right here on the Bandwidth Boys Podcast. Keep on teching on.